All right, welcome. We have a report on the Rambam here from Yochanan. Yochanan is going to give us a report, and now everybody can listen. Can you sit down? It's a fireside chat.
Yeah, like with Prager, like Prager University.
Turn on the mic. Make sure you got the mic on.
Start up.
Okay. This is a general report and overview on Maimonides. Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, as many know by his acronym Rambam, or in Latin Maimonides, was born in Cordoba, Spain in 1135. He was a physician, a philosopher, the author of the Mishnah Torah, and a popular leader with tremendous courage and conviction. Rambam came from a long line of rabbis and judges. In the beginning of his life, he was a jewel merchant who later became a physician. He had studied Jewish law, philosophy, and other religious texts during his time in yeshiva. In addition, he also pursued the field of medicine as he saw the importance of caring for the spiritual and physical well-being of others. His studies of various medical disciplines led him to become a skilled medical physician, which made him highly sought after. So much so that he was able to serve as the court physician to the Sultan in Egypt. The Sultan that Rambam served under was a prominent Muslim military and political leader who was known for his military prowess and his efforts to unite various Muslim territories against the Crusaders. Despite their difference in religious backgrounds, Saladin had great respect for the skills and knowledge in medicine Rambam had. The protection of Saladin allowed Rambam to practice medicine and pursue his scholarly work in philosophy and Jewish law. Maimonides held highly controversial opinions, which did in fact go against traditional rabbinic opinion at the time. Later, many of these opinions would become the dominant opinion amongst the Jewish people. Just a few of these controversial beliefs were, number one, the belief that rabbis should not be paid for their services, but should have other occupations, and that they should only earn their keep through their livelihoods. Two, the belief that not just academic or expert readers should have access to the Torah, but also the common people. And three, he was open to understanding non-Jewish wisdom, which was not well respected amongst many groups of Jews at that time. Maimonides was heavily influenced by the philosopher Aristotle. A concept of his that he would discuss was the concept of excess and efficiency in relation to positive character traits. He drew inspiration from Aristotle's well-known book called The Nicomachean Ethics. According to Maimonides, Aristotle's ideas can be applied to various positive character traits. The concept is that virtue lies in between the two extremes of excess and deficiency. For example, having too much courage can result in recklessness, while too little can lead to being cowardly. Or an excess of generosity can result in going beyond one's reasonable limits, while too little can result in stinginess. He strongly emphasized the importance of moderation and balance in cultivating positive character traits. He believed that by avoiding extremes and finding the right balance, individuals could develop virtuous qualities for leading a more fulfilling and ethical life. During his life, he strongly emphasized several key points, including the pursuit of knowledge and intellectual development through the study of Torah and secular disciplines. Two, the importance of ethical behavior and moral conduct in all aspects of life. Three, the integration of reason and faith advocating for the use of philosophy to deepen religious understanding. 4, the value of tzedakah, acts of kindness, and social justice. 5, the belief in the oneness of God and the rejection of idolatry. 6, the significance of prayer and devotion in connecting with God. 7, the concept of free will and individual responsibility for one's actions. 8, the idea of the afterlife and the belief in the resurrection of the dead. 9, the pursuit of moderation and balance in all aspects of life. And 10, the promotion of unity and harmony within the Jewish community and beyond. These points reflect some of the core teachings of Rambam throughout his life. Rambam had a wife and one son known as Avraham, who also had writings and teachings of his own. Eventually, Maimonides settled in Egypt as a prominent leader and scholar in the Jewish community, and later died in Egypt in 1204. The contributions Rambam had to various fields such as law, philosophy, and medicine have solidified his status as one of the most respected and influential figures in Jewish history. That's it.
Outstanding.
He also has his 13 principles of faith. Did you mention that, Ed?
I don't think I added that.
So yeah, I put it up here on the screen.
What are those? What do they mean?
It's a good question.
Let's go through them. We could go through them. The Rambam's 13 principles of faith, which has become the core to Judaism essentially. So number 1, it's up there. God exists. So what does that mean to you, Atsuyahu?
Well, you have to believe in the existence of God.
You have to believe in the existence of Hashem. Okay, number 2, God is one and unique. Trinity. There's only one. There's only one. You want a mic? Should we get this mic'd? God is not a Trinity. What'd you say? God is not a Trinity. And you can't compare him to anything else in this world or in the universe. All right. God is incorporeal. Meaning?
Non-physical form.
He doesn't have, he's not contained to a body. Atsuyahu said non-physical. But I think he has some physical parts of him.
That's right. Not restrained.
Not restrained to physical only. There you go. Number 4 is God is eternal. No beginning, no ending. No, he's not constrained to time either. Number 5, he exists outside of time. God is eternal. Okay. Number 5, prayer is to be directed to God alone and to no other. I think, obviously, yeah. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. I think some of these maybe in direct, what do you call it? The response to Christianity. Yes, I think so. That's but it could also be a response to other pagan religions as well, because the pagans will pray to many other gods and other things like that. So, the words of the prophets are true. So the words of the Tanakh that we have, other words in there are true.
Where do we get the idea that there's no prophecy anymore? Was that brought down as a colloquialism, or?
Mom, my wife said she thinks it's in the Talmud somewhere.
But I mean, the Hasidic movement, it's called something different, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's written down in the Zohar and other writings that seem pretty prophetic.
Mike.
I don't think they're trying to say that prophecy doesn't exist anymore, but there not be like a single prophet who is the single mouthpiece for God, like there was in the Tanakh. I don't think it means that people won't be able to prophesy here and there. You know what I mean?
So Judaism is not a non-profit organization.
I'll tell you who said that Judaism is not a non-profit organization.
It's a for-profit, definitely profit organization.
Parker was actually saying that he felt that that prophet, when I forget like what the word is actually, when it's translated as prophet, he said that it would be better, yes, Navi, it would be better if it were translated as spokesperson because of the I guess the ideas and things that are associated with prophet, particularly when it comes to other religions, even other monotheistic religions, that it would be helpful to have it translated as spokesperson because prophet has all of these other visionary, a person maybe giving a fortune teller, these kinds of things that are not associated with how the Torah sees someone who is being a spokesperson for Hashem, if that makes sense. So, but anyway, I just did it that. So
All right, let's continue. Moshe's prophecies are true, and Moshe was the greatest. Sorry, number 7. Moshe's prophecies are true, and Moshe was the greatest of the prophets. Yeah. Okay. And the written Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, and oral Torah were given to Moshe. Yeah, that's also self-explanatory. I don't know. Anybody has any questions about that?
It is right there. There'll be no other Torah.
And then the next number 9 is there will be no other Torah. And also Yeshua confirms that. Number 10, God knows the thoughts and deeds of men. So he's like omniscient. He's omniscient. He knows everything that's going on. God will reward the good and punish the wicked. And I think that's just saying God is just. Like there's justice. So even though maybe the good may be oppressed here, and the wicked maybe are reward or maybe feel rewarded, or they're nothing's happening to them. It's not gonna. There'll be justice eventually. Number 12, the Messiah will come. And number 13, the dead will be resurrected. So this number 13 is a pretty big differentiator between, I guess, Judaism and or one sect of Judaism versus like the Pharisaical sect versus the Sadducean.
And also like Orthodox Judaism versus conservative and Reform Judaism. Conservative and Reform Judaism,
Also.
number 12 and 13 are optional.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have a conservative siddur in our old former synagogue in California. And when it says Mechayim iti mata, which means and you will resurrect the dead, instead it says you give life to the living or something like that. It didn't want to say that God will resurrect the dead.
Mm.
Oh, I know Nishim Kol Yom.
But we said that
It's
though, right?
Amida.
Didn't we say that? That we didn't follow that Siddur, or no?
We said it in Hebrew, but I'm saying that the English translation,
No, but when we
Of
were
that
there,
Siddur.
when we were at that synagogue, they didn't say, they said that they would resurrect the dead, right? Didn't they have that? Or is that did they do it this reform way?
I don't know, but we did in Hebrew. I don't know what
Oh.
they said in English.
Okay.
I have a question about number 7. Where's the Torah or the Tanakh, for that matter, confirm number 7 of Maimonides' principle?
Say that again?
Where does the Tanakh or the Torah confirm that number 7 is true?
Well, just the fact that the Torah is from Moshe.
That Moses was the greatest of prophets. Where does the Torah say that?
Well, the Torah says, you know, with other people, with other prophets, I speak to them in a vision or a dream, but not so with my servant Moshe. I speak with him face to face. So Hashem himself kind of said that his relationship with Moshe was more direct.
I
you know,
think
his
for
connection with
for
Moshe was-
Judaism, we may say this because that's where the Torah, that's how we got the Torah. You know what I mean? Like, we believe that the Torah is from Hashem, but the way we got it is through Moshe. So that's why we give him more honor, I suppose. But it doesn't necessarily say exactly like he was the greatest. It says he's the most humble. But
I don't know.
Yeshua might have confirmed.
No, I don't know.
Yeshua might have said something to that in level, but we should look. Google it. All right. But thank you, Yochanan, for your awesome report. And if you have any questions for Yochanan, he's right over here. You can ask him any questions. No, exactly. You have a question?
Oh, if you were to ask Rambam one question, what would you ask him?
Sorry, I won't be taking questions. Sorry, if I were to ask him, that was actually a good one. I'll take that question. I would ask him one question. I'd ask him, I'd probably talk to him about Kabbalah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably.
He's not the guy I would talk to.
Yeah,
Huh?
he
That was
didn't
terrible.
work Kabbalah. So I'd ask him
But
why.
that would be good.
I'd ask him why he's not for it.
That would make sense.
He prided himself in rationalism, and one of the reasons why he compiled the Mishneh Torah was to remove all the superstitious things from halakha. So there's a lot of superstitious things in the Talmud, like do this because there might be demons in the toilet, you know, stuff like that. And he didn't write those types of things in his Mishneh Torah. He was like, I'm only writing things that are rational, not superstitious. And he helped the Yemenite Jews in a special way. He guided them and counseled them. And so because of that, the Temani, they follow his halakha, they follow the Mishneh Torah straight, whereas most other Jewish sects follow a version of the Shulchan Aruch, which is more Kabbalistic, and the Mishneh Torah is not Kabbalistic.
Anything else?
Oh, what about the Zohar? Have you guys ever read any of the Zohar, like the Guide to the Perplexed? Or any of the other stuff that he wrote? I mean, he wrote.
I've read parts of it. The Guide for the Perplexed, he teaches that a Jewish man was to teach his son how to pronounce the sacred name once every 7 years.
Which version?
Only one version. No, maybe there's multiple.
Which version of the name?
Yeah, because that goes down into the Kabbalistic aspect. You know, it expounds, right? So the name is mystical to begin with, So how do you do that rationally unless he has his version that he learned was the correct way to say, which I think can get
So,
people track anyway.
so there's a famous Kabbalist, Rabbi Abulafia, and he was a big Kabbalist, and in his writings he taught his Talmidim to say the sacred name in all permeations, all like many possible ways of pronouncing the sacred name. And just to remind everyone, now this is very controversial things that we're talking about right now, right? But hold on. The ban is only on saying the sacred name publicly. There's no ban on saying the sacred name privately. And I also heard about an ancient Siddur that also taught to say the sacred name privately in certain ways. So remember, the name of Hashem is a verb of being. It's based on the verb haya, which means he was, to be, right? And so when we say it one way, we're calling on the one who is, meaning who is the existent one, the one who needs nothing else to exist. If we say, and I don't know the ways to pronounce it. I'm sure Julian does, because I think he might do these meditations, these Kabbalist meditations. If you pronounce it a different way, you would be saying the one who was, calling on his, like how he's been eternal, like he's been living for a long time. And, just different things like that. You know what I mean? Like, so depending on what aspect of his nature you want to call on, you would say a certain type of thing. I don't know anything. I do not pronounce the sacred name. And you were not supposed to in public, but I know that some Kabbalists do. And this is kind of like hidden information. Not a lot of people know this, but some Kabbalists do know this.
I don't know if anybody was turned in this week or the last few weeks that Rabbi Katz, Donald Katz, had several different prayer meetings, and he used a variation of in his meditation techniques. He used a variation of Hashem's name. I think it was done respectfully. I think he doesn't say the hey, he says K, but and then he says to when you do it personally, then you shift it from K to hey.
Interesting.
Can you write that rabbi's name in the chat? I'd like to look into that. No, the meditation using the K.
Abulafia is Abulafia, if that's what you're asking about. And he's no longer alive. He's a rabbi from, yes, Abulafia.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, that's correct, Abulafia. So this rabbi also did ecstatic utterances. So it's it felt very Pentecostal to me. But he's an Orthodox Jew. He wasn't Christian or Pentecostal. I think he lived way before the Pentecostal movement too. So he wasn't Pentecostal. I'm not saying he was Pentecostal. I'm just saying that it's interesting that there are these things in Judaism as well, in the Kabbalistic world.
All right. Are we done for the class?
So,